So what happens when your faith demands the ultimate sacrifice? Today, we're diving into one of the most important journeys in early Islamic history, the very first migration. It's an incredible story of faith, of courage, and of leadership being forged in the fire of persecution. Our story really kicks off with a beautiful union, the marriage of Uthman ibn Affan to Ruqayyah, who was the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And people said they were the most stunning couple you could ever lay eyes on. Their marriage brought so much joy and really helped to weave the fabric of this new, growing community.
And you have to understand, this marriage wasn't just a private event. It was this big, public celebration that truly cemented Uthman's place right in the heart of the early Muslim community, a community that was being built brick by brick on love and brotherhood.
But of course, in a city like Makkah, this new faith was like a single spark in a very dark room. And that light was never going to go unchallenged. The joy that the community felt, well, it was about to face a massive test, one that would shake their entire world to its core. For these early believers, you see, declaring your faith wasn't just a simple choice. It meant stepping onto a path that would pretty much guarantee severe persecution from the powers that be in Makkah. In Uthman himself, even with his noble status, he wasn't spared. Not at all. His own paternal uncle, al-Hakam, actually took it upon himself to try and force him back to the old ways, even going so far as to tie him up, demanding he renounce this new religion. But Uthman's response? It was absolute. His faith was just stronger than any chains they could put on him. And when his uncle saw that unshakable resolve, that steadfastness, he had no choice but to let him go. It was a huge moment of resilience. As the torture and the suffering got worse for everybody, it became really clear that the community needed a safe place, a sanctuary. And the Prophet's guidance, which was always rooted in compassion, was about to offer them a way forward. So, as the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is watching his companions suffer, he's deeply grieved. He was more than just their spiritual guide. He felt like their protector, and he knew they needed a strategic solution, and fast. So he looks beyond the borders of Arabia, and he advises them to seek refuge across the sea, in the land of Abyssinia, which we know today as Ethiopia. It was a place that was known for having a very just and fair ruler. And this right here, this shows you the strategy behind it. This wasn't just about running away. It was a calculated move to protect the believers, the most valuable assets of this new faith, to make sure that the message itself could survive and one day flourish. Okay, so with their destination set, this incredibly dangerous journey begins. And this was so much more than just a physical trip. It would become a powerful, living lesson in what it means to lead and what it means to sacrifice. So imagine this. Under the cover of darkness, little groups of believers start sneaking out of Makkah. They're making this difficult, dangerous journey toward the coast of the Red Sea, just hoping they can find a ship to take them away. And it's right here, in this moment, that a whole new definition of leadership is being written. A timeless principle is being established. Real leadership isn't about privilege or staying safe. It's about shared sacrifice. It's about leading from the front. And this just illustrates that principle perfectly, doesn't it? The Prophet didn't just tell people to take a risk that he wasn't willing for his own family to take. He sent his own beloved daughter, Ruqayyah, and his son-in-law, Uthman, into the unknown first. This act was so momentous that the Prophet himself spoke about it, comparing Uthman's migration to that of the Prophet Lot, another prophet who had to leave his home for the sake of God. This was a pioneering act of faith that set the example for everyone who came after. So this journey wasn't just an escape. It literally became a living masterclass, teaching these core principles that would end up guiding the Muslim community for generations. So 3 really fundamental lessons came out of this journey, ideas that would shape the community forever. First, the power of patience and the promise of a divine reward. Second, the idea of strategic compassion. And third, the non-negotiable principle that leadership means sacrifice. This divine promise, straight from the Qur'an, was like the spiritual fuel for the emigrants. It reframed their suffering. It wasn't a defeat, it was a trade. They were exchanging a temporary hardship for an eternal reward. And this verse, it really gets to the heart of that strategic compassion we talked about. It's a reminder that faith doesn't ask for pointless suffering. If one place becomes too hostile, well, God's earth is huge. You're encouraged to find safety where you can practice your faith in peace.
So when you put it all together, the story of Uthman, Ruqayyah, and that first migration to Abyssinia is just this powerful reminder of how faith, when it's really anchored in revelation, guides practical, compassionate, and incredibly courageous action.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty profound question, one that really echoes through time. How does the willingness to sacrifice for something bigger than yourself truly define what it means to be a leader? It's definitely something worth thinking about.